Good evening, everybody. It is November 17th. It is 6:30. It's time to call the meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right.
Clerk Brady, welcome back.
Thank you. Trustee Kruger?
Present.
Trustee Lang?
Here.
Trustee Papantos?
Present.
Trustee Rafato?
Here.
Trustee Vito?
Here.
Trustee Vogel?
Here.
President Horker?
Here, any changes to the agenda?
There are no changes this evening.
Okey-doke. That brings us right down to consent, or to citizens' comments.
Okay. Hold on, we have a couple today. Give me. Members of the public may address the board with comments regarding issues relevant to village business. No citizen shall speak for more than 5 minutes without consent of the board. Members of the general public who wish to address the board must sign the request to speak form prior to commencement of the public meeting. We have Ariel Lazar. Thank you.
Just as a reminder, this is a time for citizens to make their comments and express their concerns, and for the board to listen. Neither the board nor the staff will be answering questions. Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. I don't have a grand speech like last time. I just wanted to give you a quick update. So we thought it would be a disservice to the community if we just stopped organizing and trying to make a difference in Wheeling after the last board meeting. So we're organizing a couple of community events. And also, before I go into that, I just want to thank the board and really the village administration for really implementing the resolution like that. And, I just saw the sign out there, so it was really great to see that when I walked in this evening. But anyway, our first event is actually going to be this Friday. It's going to be at the Rise and Dine Diner, and it's going to be 6 to 8 p.m. It's going to be a voter drive, food drive, and community drive. And our intention is that the food that we collect at that drive is going to go to the pancake breakfast. That's on, I believe that's the Saturday, the following day. And we received an email from Trustee Vogel, and I want to thank you for that, about volunteers that were needed for that pancake breakfast. And I'll be there personally. We'll try to get a few more volunteers for that event to help out with anything that the board or the village really needs with that. Our second event is going to be, if I open it up, it's the wrong one. It's Know Your Rights Info Fair on Sunday, and it's going to be at Wheeling High School. It is not hosted by Wheeling High School, or it is not organized by Wheeling High School. We're the ones that are really staging it, and it's really Osmar's thing. And I know Trustee Vito knows Osmar very well, so I appreciate the comments that you left at the last meeting. But we'll have, part of it is going to be the Know Your Rights training, and the other part of it is going to be helping with online scams that really affect the elderly. So it's really like a 2-in-1 with that as well. So we're hoping that we can provide a service to the community with some of these projects that we're helping organize, and we appreciate the board's attention to it. And if any of you are interested in attending, we have a sign-up form up on our Instagram as well as our Facebook, or you can just contact us, and I believe all of you have our email, so you can reach out to us there. Thanks again for your time, and hope you have a good rest of your meeting.
Augustine Salgado.
How's it going, everybody? Good evening. My name is Agustin Salgado, and I'm here tonight because many of us in this room want to say thank you for everything you guys have done the last couple of weeks. We appreciate the potatoes, the onions. Mr. Orger, so thank you so much. We have fed over 100 families, so we appreciate everything you guys have done. But I'm here tonight because many of us in this room, especially in our Hispanic neighborhoods, have watched drones circling overhead for weeks now. Sometimes for hours at a time. These are not quite little hobby drones. They're large, loud, equipped with cameras, and they follow people. They follow us as we walk our dogs, as we pick up our kids from school, and on multiple documented occasions, they've been seen in neighbors' windows. Let me be very clear, this is not normal. This is not just public safety. This feels like surveillance. And the fact that these drones are flying almost exclusively over the heavily Hispanic parts of town raises the most serious questions about selective enforcement and racial profiling. We deserve answers to some very basic questions. Who exactly is operating these drones? Is it Wheeling Police, Cook County Sheriff, a private contractor, ICE? We keep hearing different stories, and the lack of transparency is unacceptable. What legal authority allows unmarked drones with cameras to follow private citizens on public streets and all the way to their homes? Illinois law is extremely clear. The Freedom from Drone Surveillance Act requires a warrant for any surveillance targeting a specific person or home unless there's an active emergency. Can we see the warrants? Because from what we've seen, no emergency justifies months of blanket drone flights over our entire neighborhoods. Why are these drones concentrated almost exclusively in Hispanic neighborhoods? If this technology is so important for public safety, where are the drones over other subdivisions of town? The pattern is impossible to ignore, and it demands an explanation. What happens to the footage? Who has access to images of our children playing in their own backyards? How long is it stored? Is it being shared with federal immigration authorities? Families in our community are terrified that these drones are being used to build deportation cases. We are not anti-technology, and we are not anti-police. Many of us moved to Wheeling precisely because it has always been a welcoming, diverse village. But when whoever is operating these aircraft chooses to test invasive new surveillance tools first and most aggressively on immigrant and Hispanic neighborhoods, that is not public safety. That is intimidation. We respectfully demand the following immediate actions: an immediate moratorium on all non-emergency drone flights until the village holds a full public hearing with clear answers to the questions I just raised. Publication of every drone flight log from the past 6 months, redacting only what is legally required so we can see for ourselves where these drones are actually flying. A written policy passed by this board that explicitly prohibits the use of drones for immigration enforcement and guarantees equal application across every neighborhood in Wheeling. Our community pays taxes, we vote, we volunteer at our schools and coach our kids' soccer teams. We have a right to walk down the street without a camera in the sky tracking us to our doorstep. Trust, once broken, is very hard to repair. Please do not let this village become known as a place where drone surveillance was used to make one part of our community feel watched, targeted, and afraid. Thank you for your time, and I hope the board will give us real answers, not deflections, at the next possible meeting. Thank you for your time. I adjourn.
Jen Abonsi. Sorry if I killed your name.
Oh, excuse me, it's Jen Abonce Alcantara. You almost got it. So I'm here today. I was here a few weeks ago asking for the board to make available resources for our community, and I'm here to say thank you. The Wheeling PD Social Services we've worked with, and not only are the resources accessible, we have personally helped families guide them to the resources, and even just this morning helped a family connect to the social services resources so that they can help Wheeling resident that was detained earlier this month to access those resources. So we do feel heard with the resources that were provided, and we're proud to continue to work with the board and other organizations here in Wheeling, like, you know, Hands Off, a great youth organization, as well as other organizations that are starting to evolve and grow as a result of what we can do as a community together. I just wanted to quickly touch upon what Augustine said about the drones. I live right here, and I see the drone activity over our homes on a daily basis. I have video of them right over our driveway when I'm taking my 2-year-old daughter out of her car seat. My best friend lives on the other side of Wheeling, and she has never seen a drone. So to Augustine's point, we would just want transparency. Our safety still feels like it is at risk for our families. As we all try to do research ourselves to understand the regulations at the Illinois level, federal level, and the ask is if we can have more understanding and transparency as to in Wheeling how that looks like, in Wheeling what power we have over that, either as a resident, as a board, or who we can partner up with to better understand how to get them out of Wheeling. So thank you for your time, and again, thank you for your partnership.
So we were sort of aware that there was going to be a recurring theme. We actually have done some research about this, so you have to wait just a minute, and Mr. Spondelos.
So just to address some of this, and thank you for bringing it up. On Friday, we got a phone call from Tom, that was the first time we ever heard anything about drones in town. So we did a couple of things. First, I spoke with our police chief, and we have not had a single report of a drone in town, which is not, of course, not to say that it's not happening. I'm just saying we didn't know anything about it. So that was step one, was trying to understand exactly what was happening. Step two then was talking to our attorney about exactly what the rules are and are not. You can imagine enforcement, particularly when it comes to if this is an action of the federal government, what role we have in it. So I reached out to our attorney who can give a better technical explanation.
Certainly. The act that was cited by the young man, the Freedom from Drone Surveillance Act, if you read Section 5 of that act, it applies only to state and local law enforcement agencies. It does not apply to federal agencies. The Village of Wheeling has no jurisdiction over federal agencies. We have no right to restrict federal agencies if, in fact, they are using drones. There's something in the Constitution called the Supremacy Clause, which provides that, and I'm sure you've looked at it, you guys are very well researched, provides that federal law preempts state law where there's conflicts. So I would urge you to take a look at the definitions in that act. It defines local law enforcement agencies to be agencies of the state of Illinois or political subdivisions, which would be municipalities, not federal agencies. Federal law enforcement agencies, including ICE, Department of Homeland Security, they're guided by federal laws. We do not have jurisdiction to enforce federal laws. No state agency does. So what the manager said, the Village of Wheeling is not flying drones. I think you raised that possibility. That's not happening. To the extent there are drones, and you said there are, I have no reason to deny that. And if they are federally operated, the Village of Wheeling has no power to do anything about it. There is a provision in the state law that provides that you can go to the Attorney General for enforcement, but the Attorney General has no authority over federal agencies. They only have authority, he only has authority over state agencies. So I really want that to be clear. Under federal supremacy rules, to the extent state and federal laws conflict, federal laws take precedent. And we as a village have no authority to enforce those laws.
Anyway, I just wanted to get some of our, like the information that we had available out. Okay, Trustee Kruger.
Just want to ask the attorney, do we not have a ordinance about drone flying within 5 miles of a airport?
We cannot enforce federal agencies. We cannot tell federal agencies what to do in the skies. That's restricted by the Federal Aviation Administration. Again, when I tell you we have no authority over that, there's no room in that at all. We control state agencies, private actors in the state of Illinois.
Do they notify the tower, which was what was
Who's they?
the federal agency?
I don't know. I assume so. They're flying by an airport, so
Right.
I would assume they would have to, because the airport is governed largely by the Federal Aviation Administration.
Correct.
Yeah.
There is a local ordinance prohibiting flying residential drones in the Village of Wheeling. I don't recall what exactly the jurisdiction is as far as how many feet from the airport, but it's all about a flight path. So we have local ordinances that, as Attorney Frola said, have no connection to the federal government. But as far as any resident in town wanting to just fly their drone, that is prohibited. And anytime we put up our drone, we file a flight notice. I'm sure there's a more official term for that. But yeah, so this is not coming from the Village of Wheeling in any way, shape, or form.
Clerk Brady, continue.
Tom Divot?
All right, good evening, everybody. I'm obviously here to speak about the drones again, and, right, we don't have to guess, given the timing and everything else going on, which federal agency it is. I understand the limits of the law, but what about the intent of the law? And if this agency is not going to follow federal law,
Who
Why
says
would-
they're not following federal law? You say that.
the First Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, the Eighth
Those
Amendment.
those are civil actions. Those aren't criminal actions. Those are civil actions. And these fine people have the right to pursue their rights in court if their civil rights are violated. The Village of Wheeling has no authority to help with civil rights, civil lawsuits. That is a body of law that's in place for all of our citizens to take advantage of on the civil side of things. We have, again, I encourage you to read the Supremacy Clause of the Constitution. I know you have, you know, and we are very, very limited in what we can do with federal agencies,
Okay.
if
correct.
anything, very frankly.
So I'm not asking you
Right.
to take them from the sky or do anything that you can't do legally, but what can you do? You have firsthand experience. When it's one loudmouth asking for action, it's easy to ignore. When it's a room full of people, action happens quickly. We are all individual citizens. You all represent 40,000 people. I don't know what you can do, right? In work, before it's take it up the corporate ladder, right? Go to the supervisor, then the manager, then the regional manager, and all of that. As always, I have contacted State Rep Katzmall and State Senator Morrison. This was on Thursday before I contacted y'all. Did not hear from them. The Attorney General has a civil rights abuse or civil rights hotline. Called them also on Thursday. Also haven't heard back. I know that this board does not enjoy when I ask you guys to push beyond your comfort zone. I'm not asking you to take anything that could be legally held against you. I'm asking that we take a stand and we draw a line in the sand and we make noise about this. If none of you or the police department or anyone had heard of this until we brought it up, who is to say that anyone else has heard of it until we brought it up? I don't want this to become normalized and then entrenched and then even harder to fight. Right? This is easier to fight now than it will be down the line. And I guess the other thing that I don't understand is the people that seem to be in support, whether that's passive or active, of the immigration enforcement. I guess I don't understand how you think that the erosion of the rights of millions of people won't come back to you individually or your community or the larger community. I don't understand how safety and privacy concerns aren't going to come back to you. Like, the other thing I would love is to hear where everybody stands on things like this. You know, when somebody is up here asking for a liquor license or to expand into the next unit in a subdivision, we get questions. You know, we had 2 meetings in a row where this place was packed, and it was passed with yes, 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 and 1 no that most people didn't hear. A lot of people thought it passed unanimously. So I guess before we can even take bigger steps against this, maybe we can start a conversation rather than what we've been seeing. And I do appreciate what you guys did last meeting, and that happened very quickly. And so if this is getting the state representatives to hold a town hall so they can hear what's going on, I called Schneider's office, Congressman Schneider's office. He may be too busy counting his APAC money, but he also did not get back to me. So again, I know you don't like it when I leave things open-ended, but y'all have been doing this for a long time. You're intelligent, creative people. What would you do now that you have this complaint? And it's constant, it's multiple, it's 10, 12 of them, right? And are we gonna wait until one of these hits a propeller plane? Like, let's do something now. And I'm going to leave you with one quote, because again, the people that seem to be in favor of the immigration enforcement seem to think this is for safety, seem to think that everyone with missing paperwork is Trendra Wagwa or, you know, running guns or something. But the people that generally are in favor of this enforcement also tend to be in favor of the founding fathers and all of that rhetoric. I'll remind you of the Benjamin Franklin quote, where anyone who would give up temporary liberty for safety deserves neither. So, thank you all.
Consuelo?
Good evening, everyone. I just want to start off by saying thank you for being so open-minded and listening to us the past couple of weeks. We may have maybe annoyed some of you. Maybe some of you have had a change of heart. I know, I think was it Ms. Kruger, one of your quotes on your mission statement was that not everybody had the art to actually listen or to actually hear. I'm not sure which one of the two, but thank you. That actually resonates a lot, so I appreciate that. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but if you look at it, look at their mission statements, everybody. I also had just like a few questions, and I completely understand, Village Attorney, that what you're saying with like the drones and the laws and you can't prohibit certain things. I totally get that, and thank you for clarifying that. I just have questions in regards to the fact that you guys didn't hear that there was a bunch of drones. This has been going on since like maybe the last 2 weeks of October until now, today, November. Not only are there drones, there's like those little light aircraft propeller planes that are out there too. So it's kind of weird seeing them. I was in Morton Grove and Skokie last week and I didn't see any. As soon as you hit like Prospect Heights and Wheeling, they're all over and you can hear them, you can see them. So I just don't know why you guys haven't seen them. I don't know where you guys live, but yeah, I don't know why you guys can't see them. Anyway, another thing is I saw this on the Wheeling page that they're not allowed to fly these drones within a 5-mile radius, and I can tell you that they are all up, sorry, my hand is shaking, so I'm nervous. They're all up in this radius here, so if that causes a safety for the Chicago Executive Airport, why are they still allowed to fly them? And I just want to know if you guys have any information you guys can give regarding if you guys have jurisdiction with the Chicago Executive Airport and if they're allowed to land on Wheeling property, because if they are, then that's kind of an issue with the immigration stuff you guys just passed. And I know there has to be like, those FAA authorizations and things like that. So like, you are right, we are pretty researched here with what we're doing, but we just want to know some transparency. Put it on your, on your Wheeling page to say like, hey, there are drones, we've seen them, we hear you, we see you, this is what we can or cannot do. I'm not telling you to tell them, take it down. We just want to know like, why are they here? Like if you guys know, if you guys can ask Chicago Executive Airport. I tried to email them. No one's gotten back to me for the past 2 weeks. So if you guys just have any information, just be transparent. Just exactly how you guys did it for these immigration laws. Just go ahead and ask them maybe and take a look out your window. If you guys are in Wheeling, live in Wheeling, I don't know, but that's kind of crazy you guys haven't seen them. But thank you.
Thank you. Actually, the Chicago Executive is probably a good place for me to call tomorrow. Figure that out. Good suggestion. Thank you. I live and work in Wheeling, and I have seen low-flying helicopters. I haven't seen drones, which, honestly, I'd prefer a drone to a helicopter, but.
They're just big, to be honest, so.
Yeah, it's still wrong either way.
You'll see them over the Orchard Farm after 7 p.m. right at Walmart.
Yeah.
They're looking for people that are walking into Walmart. You'll see them at 7 and 9 p.m. over the farm.
It's usually dark by, I'm usually inside working. Okay. Not doubting it. Thank you guys all. Consent agenda. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Staff reports. Mr. Smith, what do we got?
Just a quick update on the special census. The government shutdown ended last Wednesday, November 12th. The next morning, we reached out to the census contacts to discuss next steps for our special census. The good news is they were back in the office the next day, but unfortunately, our primary contact indicated to us that they still need to discuss a revised schedule for Wheeling with their superiors, and then they'd reach back out to us to let us know what our next steps are. So I have no new information right now, but as soon as we do, we'll post that on the website and make the public aware.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. That's our contact with the feds. Now, Clerk Brady, consent agenda.
Okay, consent agenda. All items listed on the consent agenda are considered to be a routine by the village board and will be enacted by one motion. There'll be no separate discussions of these items unless the board member or citizen so requests. in which event the items will be removed from the general order of business and considered after all other agenda items. 11A, resolution authorizing the execution of the Second Amendment to the service agreement between the Village of Wheeling and Health Inspection Professionals, Inc. for health inspection services in the amount of $162,000. 11B, resolution approving change order number 1 to the contract with DeWalt and Hamilton Associates, Inc. for the Northeast Prairie Preserves Bike Path Project, increasing the contract amount by $67,700 from $46,700 to $114,400. 11C, resolution approving a one-year contract with Robert W. Hendrickson Company in the amount of $120,000 for tree trimming and removal services, and any additional $5,000 for miscellaneous tree work, for a total amount of $125,000 in fiscal year 2026. 11D, resolution approving a third one-year renewal contract with Levard Construction Company for aggregate materials, delivery, and debris hauling for the total amount not to exceed $110,000 in fiscal year 2026. 11E, resolution authorizing acceptance of the previous bid Suburban Purchasing Cooperative contract for the purchase of one 2026 Ford F-150 responder from Curry Motors in the total amount of $49,695. 11F, resolution authorizing the village president and clerk to execute a temporary construction easement related to the Milwaukee Avenue Water Main and Sidewalk Installation Project. 11G, resolution authorizing the village president to execute Amendment 1 to November 4th, 2024 agreement with Kimley Horn for professional services for the Wheeling Town Center Enhancement Project.
Have any questions or comments on the consent agenda? If there are none, I would be looking for a motion to approve as read.
So moved.
Second.
Motion trustee Papantos, second trustee Vogel. Roll call, please.
Trustee Kruger,
Yes.
trustee Lang,
Yes.
trustee Papantos,
Yes.
trustee Rafato,
Yes.
trustee Vito, trustee Vogel,
Yes.
President Horker.
Yes, that is old business or consent. New business, please.
Where are we? Oh, here. Resolution of the corporate authorities to determine the amount of tax levy for the 2025 tax year.
Mr. Smith, time to shine.
At the budget workshop on November 1st, the board directed staff to prepare the 2025 tax levy, reflecting a 2% increase over the prior year to reduce the gap between projected increases in expenditures and revenues for the 26 budget. With this resolution tonight, you adopt an estimated levy of $17,769,373, before memorializing the levy's final approval at the second meeting in December. If passed, the increase to the levy will increase residential tax bills by approximately $2.38 for every $1,000 paid in property taxes. For example, a $9,000 property tax bill would increase $21.42. Please remember, however, that there are many other factors to how a property tax bill gets calculated, so your increase in your tax bill will likely be different or perhaps lower. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions or comments? If there are none, I would be looking for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion trustee Vogel, second trustee Kruger. Roll call, please.
Trustee Kruger,
Yes.
trustee Lang,
Yes.
trustee Papantos,
Yes.
trustee Rafato,
Yes.
trustee Vito,
No.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
President Horker?
Yes.
All right, what are we on here? 13B, resolution consenting to a Cook County Class 6B real estate assessment classification for the property located at 953 Seton Court in the Village of Wheeling, Illinois, and approving a related Class 6B development incentive agreement.
Mr. Becker, this is you.
Thank you. President Horker, trustees, the applicant and his attorney is here, SCG Real Estate. This is for the acquisition of the property at 953 Seton Court. The applicant does not have a tenant. It is a roughly 20,000 square foot building. He will be, with this incentive, will be making about $200,000 worth of improvements to the property in anticipation of a tenant who has yet to be secured. The incentive agreement that we have proposed gives the village, like other 6B requests in the past, first right of refusal to approve the tenant. We are specifically prohibiting cannabis and truck terminals from the use. Any other use allowed in the I-1 zoning would be applicable as permitted by right. So I'd be happy to answer any questions. Like I said, the applicant and his attorney is also here.
Trustee Rufato, you had something?
I do. Len, this is for you, really for you. How often do we, I know we have these come before us all the time. How often are we in this scenario where we don't know what is going in there? Have we done this in the past? I don't.
We have, Trustee Rufato, we've done this a couple of times. They've been in larger buildings. We did them about 2.5 years ago. We had 2 properties, and they were both occupied by very good corporate advanced manufacturing operations.
So do they come back before the village board for approval? Or
No.
is it through the normal processes, CD and all that?
It's the normal process through community development. Certainly, I'll look at the application. It's specified in the incentive agreement. And again, the intent here is to add jobs and capital investment for those companies. So in this situation, we would have to approve it before the resolution is sent off to the county.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Trustee Rufato. Trustee Papantos, you had a question?
Thank you. I just want to clarify, we will not send this resolution to the county. In other words, this tax incentive will not go through until there is a tenant.
Correct. And we approve the tenant.
And, well,
Yes.
right, okay.
Yes.
And during the period of ownership of the building until that tenant, they will be paying the 25% tax rate.
It will probably
The
be.
property will be taxed at that rate.
Correct, but there will be a vacancy factor. The building has been vacant since September of
okay.
last year.
Whatever that-
But yes, technically, you are correct.
Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Papantos. Trustee Lang, you had a question?
Yeah, someone might have to answer this from representative, but what type of tenant are you going after?
You need
Is
to
it-
come to the mic, sir.
Please, yeah.
Is it a
Scott?
wide net?
Yes, a diverse audience of potential users. So the building itself has one loading dock and one drive-in door. So that kind of narrows the audience from a distribution use to light assembly, light production, manufacturing. The building has 3,000 amps of power and was previously occupied by a tenant for 25 years before leaving at the end of 2024. And there was a lot of specialized fit out to the building that just hasn't seen reinvestment from the previous owner who owned the building. And so it's sat vacant for now over a year. And so the opportunity was to come in and bring new investments and improvements to the space to attract tenancy.
Could you state your name just so they have it for the
Yeah,
record?
Scott Gibble.
Thank you.
If there's no other questions, we need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Trustee Rufato, second trustee Papantos, roll call.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Papantos?
Yes.
Trustee Rufato?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
President Horker?
Yep, yes.
Thank you.
Good luck, sir.
13C, ordinance amending Title 19 zoning of the Wheeling Municipal Code related to business and contractor-related services, docket number PTA 25-0002.
Mr. Clicker, some efficiencies?
Yes, this was actually brought to us by a business in town, Quick Kill Extermination. They're at 94 Misner. They are in an I3 zoning district, and actually the use that they operate out there is not permitted currently by code. But however, the code does permit it in the I1 district. Now typically, the progression in zoning is if it's permitted in the I1, which is the most restrictive industrial zoning district we have, the lesser or more intensive zoning districts would also include that use. For some reason, this use did not follow that standard progression. So that's what this text amendment does, is if it's permitted in the I1, it would be permitted in the I2, permitted in the I3. We did do some cleanup of definitions and some parking regulations regarding these types of uses that we believe will be a benefit to all zoning districts in the village of Wheeling, and will make the process that much smoother and easier for everyone.
Questions? No questions. Easier is always better. I'd be looking for a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Trustee Lang, second.
Second.
Trustee Papantos, roll call, please.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Papantos?
Yes.
Trustee Rufato?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
President Horker?
Yes.
13D, ordinance granting special use approval for an indoor recreation instructional facility, DNA Tumbling, 636 Wheeling Road, docket number PSU 25-0022.
Mr. Clicker, this is not pickleball.
This is not pickleball. This is an indoor instructional gym specializing in cheer and tumbling classes. This was heard by the Plan Commission and did receive a unanimous recommendation for approval with 4 conditions. And those conditions were that 1, a minimum of 1 employee shall be on site at all times during the facility's hours of operation. 2, the facility shall be used exclusively for cheer and tumbling training and classes. No unrelated activities, parties, or events shall be permitted. 3, all activities shall be conducted entirely within the indoor facility. And 4, a wheeling sign permit shall be required prior to the installation of any exterior signage at the subject property, subject to the requirements of Title 21 signs. With those conditions, the Plan Commission did recommend approval.
Any questions or comments? Quiet night, left, right, no questions or comments? Petitioner here? Look for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion trustee Krueger, second trustee Papantos. Roll call, please.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Papantos?
Yes.
Trustee Rufato?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
President Horker?
Yes, good luck.
13E, discussion regarding capital improvement plan CIP, summary of projects for fiscal year 2026 through 2030.
So this is our 5-year plan, right, Mr. Kaup?
Indeed it is. President Horker, members of the board, I present to you Kyle Getzelman, our village engineer. He will walk us through the 2026 through 2030 CIP.
Good evening, everyone. President Horker, trustees, residents at home. My name is Kyle Getzelman. I am our village engineer, and I'm going to go over tonight our capital improvement plan for fiscal year 2026 through 2030. Just a quick summary and disclaimer, 2026 projects in the CIP are included and approved as part of the village's 2026 annual budget. The proposed CIP includes summaries and project descriptions of 2026 funded projects, as well as 2026 through 2030 projects. They may have single funding sources or multiple funding sources. Our focus tonight is going to be on the 2026 projects. But before we get to those projects, I kind of want to go over 2025 in review. We had quite a few projects that took place this year. Our MFT Street Improvement Program, we completed about 2.76 miles of pavement in the Ridgefield, Dunhurst, and Avalon Sienna subdivisions at a cost of approximately $1.79 million. As you can see outside, our Village Hall parking lot has been resurfaced. That includes the access road over to the police department towards St. Joseph the Worker. Project cost about $366,000. Our Village Hall generator, as you can see in the picture attached right there, that's our old generator being removed, and we installed a more reliable diesel generator at the Village Hall at a cost of about $316,000. We did some paver brick maintenance along Milwaukee Avenue, Northgate Parkway, and at the Public Works Building at a cost of about $82,000. And then a couple of additional projects here. One of the big ones, two big ones actually. We have our police department roof replacement project. That roof was in a state of disrepair, really needed to be fully replaced, at a cost of $1.4 million. The big project that got completed this summer was the phase 2 of our South Dunhurst Storm Sewer Improvement Project. This was a big one. This is where we installed all the conveyance pipe within the subdivision. This was a continuation of the phase 1 project, which took place last year, which was the actual basin. But this project and all of the storm sewer is completed. Next year, I guess we'll call it unofficial phase 3 of this project. We'll be resurfacing all of the roads impacted by this project. But that is not part of the phase 2 project and the cost of $3.14 million right here. So, and then sidewalk removal and replacement project, we replaced approximately 350 sidewalk squares to eliminate trip hazards at a cost of approximately $120,000. There's one item on here that I didn't include on the PowerPoint, but I wanted to make special mention of, is our stormwater master plan. So that's not a 2026 project, that's actually 2025. We are pretty close to getting a draft plan for our stormwater master plan, which will outline improvement projects for the next 10 years. Obviously, it kind of contemplates all the projects that we completed over the last 10 years, shows the level of service increase, and determines what projects still need to take place. But that will be, we should have a draft of that before the year is up. So just real quick, here are the funding sources for our CIP-related projects. First off, our total budget for 2026 is going to be $23.8 million. That's up about $1.6 million from 2025. The different funding sources are outlined here, but the gist of it is the improvement funds. So capital improvement fund, sewer capital improvement fund, these are all new construction projects. All of the outlay funds are more maintenance-related projects. And then our motor fuel tax fund, that's used for road improvement programs. And then projects in our TIF district use TIF capital improvement funds. So now I'm going to kind of go through some of the projects that we have planned for 2026 and what funding source these are coming out of. So right here we have our capital improvement fund, and that's going to be our streetlight replacement program. This is budgeted to be $522,000, and it's taking place at various locations throughout town. And this is a replacement of old concrete streetlight poles with modern aluminum poles. We have 2 years left of replacement of these poles until we're all done and we have all of the concrete poles replaced in town. Capital outlay projects, so this is a school zone safety study. We have budgeted about $175,000. This is going to take place at various District 21 and District 214 schools. The study is to evaluate pedestrian and vehicular movement around schools to determine what safety improvements can be made. The nice thing about this project is we received Invest in Cook grant funding for this, and we actually are going to be collaborating with the Village of Buffalo Grove to work with them on this as well. They have a couple schools in District 21 and District 214 that want to partake in the study as well. So we're going to use the Invest in Cook grant funding to help offset the cost of the study. Capital outlay projects are Village Hall parking lot light replacement project, budgeted about $125,000. This is just replacing dated streetlight heads to LED for increased efficiency and durability. Capital outlay project, asphalt surface treatment. So this is the Reclamite project that we do every year throughout the village. And normally, up until now, we focused on all the roads that are 1 year old, as was outlined in our pavement preservation plan that you reviewed earlier this summer. But what we are going to be including this year, in addition to those 1 year old roads, is roads that are about 7 years old. So we started Reclamite on some of these roads 7 years ago, and now we're including a second coat of this surface treatment, which, that's why the budget went up a little bit for this particular project. Motor fuel tax, MFT, street improvement program. So this is our normal street improvement program. We've got about $2 million budgeted for this. We're doing about 3 miles of roadway in the Avalon Siena North, Polo Run, Long Tree, and Williams-Zalowski's Milwaukee Avenue subdivisions. As with all MFT projects, this includes curb replacement, resurfacing of existing pavement, bringing ADA sidewalks and ramps into compliance. Our sanitary sewer capital improvement fund. This is a lift station improvement. We have budgeted $150,000. This is for a Milwaukee Avenue lift station. We're going to be bringing 3-phase electric to this particular lift station and improving the pumps for reliability. Storm sewer capital outlay. This is the equalizer pipe between Echo Lake and Ridgefield Pond. We're going to be evaluating it. This is a $125,000 project, and this project is evaluating the critical section of pipe that connects Ridgefield Pond and Echo Lake. The evaluation will check for blockage, assess pipe condition, and overall function of the system. This picture was from a repair we did earlier, I think it was last year, to fix some deficiencies in the manhole structure there. That's when we started to notice there was other issues with the pipe, so that's why we are getting it assessed. Southeast TIF District. This is a project that's been on the books for quite a while, and we're finally excited to bring it to construction. Water main loop from Rivermill to Sumac. So this is a $2.2 million project. It includes installation of new water main where it didn't currently exist to improve water quality and flow in this area of town. We're also going to be filling sidewalk gaps as best we can through this corridor, which we've got an easement acquisition. We've acquired easements for that. Town Center TIF. Stream bank stabilization project. This is another project that's been in the works for a couple of years now. We're excited to bring this one to construction as well. $2.6 million out of the Town Center TIF. We do have an IEPA grant for this one, which we are going to be reimbursed $1.63 million. And this is going to be the wheeling drainage ditch from Northgate Parkway to Dundee Road. This project consists of construction of erosion control measures to prevent further deterioration of the drainage ditch. Town Center TIF, this is the $1.25 million project that this project funds the design, engineering, and construction of various physical improvements to parking, vehicular, and pedestrian circulation, accessibility, signage, and public enhancements to Town Center. This is all part of the Kinley Horn study that was completed earlier this year. That's what this little concept view picture here is. Kind of gives you an idea of what they're going to be doing out there. We're going to be doing some sidewalk improvements, obviously street lighting improvements, and storm sewer improvements, kind of making the town center look a lot nicer. Our last project that we're going to talk about, North TIF, diversionary channel bike path. We have about $1 million budgeted for this particular project. This is going to go along the diversionary channel between Northgate Parkway and Wolf Court. I think it's a little over a mile. And this project is intended to improve this bike path is to improve connection between Northgate Parkway and Wolf Court and provide accessibility, which is consistent with our active transportation plan. So this list was in no way exhaustive, but it was some of the newer key projects that we have planned for this next fiscal year. There's obviously other projects as well. If you have any questions regarding these projects or some of the other projects in our capital improvement plan, I'm more than happy to answer any questions you may have.
Trustee Vogel, then Trustee Kruger. Yeah, the last slide you put up, the Northeast Bike Path, it's $1.1 million.
Yes, that's
for 1 mile.
Yes, there is a bridge that we may have to cross the diversionary channel to get around some land acquisition and properties. So that is, and the accessibility is another reason for the cost of this one. There's, most bike paths, are very close to, a route where trucks can deliver material, but this one here in the diversionary channel, it's not easy to access. So they're going to they have to work their way through there, which will increase the cost of the project. But that is our current engineer's estimate.
In previous, seemed like it was a lot less.
This is
a lot less.
Yeah,
is this just due to construction costs too? I mean,
construction costs are a big part of it.
For a mile is do Dundee Road.
This is also, I think, an 8-foot wide path as well. So it's wide, it's asphalt, but yes, accessibility is a big part of the construction cost. Construction materials have obviously gone up in cost. The bridge component of it is not insignificant either.
How long do we, what's the life? something like that, approximately?
Depending on the use, this should last a long time. I mean, it is I don't know if this is going to be a heavily trafficked corridor for bike paths as far as bike paths are concerned. We don't expect vehicular traffic through there, so I expect this path to last a long time. I don't have a time frame for you, 20, 30 plus years.
Is this an additional piece of connecting to other municipalities also?
Not to other municipalities, no. Nope.
Because in the past, they talked about where they wanted a continuous bike path, walking path from here up into Lake County. This is not part of that?
It is not part of it, no.
Concept I?
This is, it will be a part of the connectivity. This will connect toward the path that runs along the river and south. So this will be connected to that portion of the Des Plaines River Trail by way of the intersection at Wolf and Dundee.
Yeah, it doesn't directly connect, but it will provide additional connections to existing sidewalk network that works its way in that direction.
Does it in any way or shape tie into any of the Park District paths?
This one does not.
Does not? Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Trustee Vogel. Trustee Kruger, then Trustee Papantos.
Thank you, Mr. President. Hey, Kyle. At the budget hearing, there was, when we were discussing the Stormwater Management Fund and whether or not we still needed it, there was a mention of Jackson Drive drain work. Where does that fall on here? Is that the stormwater televising, mapping, and condition assessment?
That one is part of the stormwater master plan that hasn't been completed yet, so we do not have that currently in the budget. We don't have a scope yet until the master plan is done. So once the stormwater master plan is reviewed, approved, and we have an idea of the scope of that particular project, we can better incorporate it into the next CIP in future years. That project is being contemplated, it's just not ready yet.
Okay, so we don't know exactly where this project is supposed to?
We have a general idea. There's a drain tile that goes along the east, behind the homes on the eastern side of Jackson Drive. The goal is to bypass that drain tile ultimately as it's getting older in age. We don't really, obviously that hasn't been fully designed yet. It's really just in the concept level review as part of the stormwater master plan. So budget figures are very approximate. As we get a design, in the next year or two, we'll probably get a design budgeted for it and then a more detailed cost outline.
So that could be a project after 2030?
No, it should be before then.
Okay.
But we just don't have a cost yet for it, so it's kind of hard to put it into the budget if we don't have a scope or a cost.
Fair enough, thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Kruger. Trustee Papantos.
Thank you. I just wanted to point out that our capital improvement projects, the capital outlay projects, we're doing all of these without issuing debt. For those of you who have looked, District 214 has been talking about upwards of close to 900 million. They're now revising that to about 400 million, a referendum for debt. The village has planned for this. We have saved money. We have used the funds responsibly so that we don't put more of a burden on any of our taxpayers. Even if you're not a homeowner, if you're paying rent to somebody, your rent goes up when somebody's taxes go up. So it's a great job, and I think our village looks great. The streets look great. I've lived here all my life, so I know about flooding in Dunhurst and Meadowbrook West. Okay, it's always been there. We've taken care of that problem, hopefully. The streets will be repaved. I'm sure it's been a long 2 years of a lot of construction work, but well worth it. So thank you to staff for taking care of this.
Thank you, Trustee Papantos. Mr. Kaup, Trustee Svandelis. Mr. Svandelis pointed something out to me, and I was kind of curious about it. You have a clarification about the bike path?
I do. The bike path, the trail that was approved or mentioned by Village Engineer Getzelman connects not only to the Des Plaines River Trail on the east, it connects to the Northgate Trail on the west, on the other side of the diversionary channel. So it does connect to existing components of the bike and pedestrian network. And I also would like to point out that the construction cost, while it went up based on the addition of the pedestrian footpath bridge. We've added, I think, about $150,000 to the original cost estimate for construction of $820,000. The rest of that would be for Phase 3 construction oversight services. So the number that you're looking at, that seven-figure number, is an amalgam of both the professional engineering services and the construction costs.
Thank you, Mr. Cow. I thought I remember when we were talking about it earlier, I thought it connected to something. And then
It does connect, absolutely.
You're in trouble.
I guess a technicality here.
The-
Yes,
the,
it connects to an existing network that connects to the forest preserve, but it's gonna make a connection over by the Ram Restaurant, the existing sidewalk network over there, and then on the west end at Northgate Parkway.
There you go. Okay.
The project was changed with your vote today on the consent agenda with the change in the design costs to include the bridge. So
Yeah, but we've been looking at this for months.
we have been looking at the
That's
bike path for months, yeah. We,
okay.
but the next year is the last year for construction to be paid for through the TIF district in the north, and so this was a project that we've added just this year.
Okay.
Just, can I get a quick one?
Trustee
here?
Lang.
Thank you. So what's the, for sidewalk repairs, what's the tolerance for sidewalk to be like a trip hazard? What's the, what are you guys looking at?
So every year, every summer, we have inspections that go out there in certain zones throughout the village. Next year, we're gonna be doing this, everything south of Hintz Road, for example. We look at trip hazards that are between 1/4 inch and 3/4 of an inch. Those are trip hazards we can grind with the sidewalk grinding tool. Anything greater than 3/4 of an inch, we usually consider that for replacement. But to answer your question, anything greater than 1/4 of an inch, that's generally considered a trip hazard that we like to fix. And we do that through 5 different zones throughout the town on rotating years.
It's a lot easier to evaluate the roads than the sidewalks, because there's a lot more sidewalks that are manual to walk them. So how do they get?
Someone walks them. Every summer, we have an intern whose job it is to go out in each of these 5 zones and go out there with a ruler and some GPS equipment to obviously map all of the locations. They'll go out and with a ruler, if it's within 1/4 of an inch to 3/4 of an inch, they'll mark that area for grinding. Anything greater than that will be for replacement in the following year's program. So we usually try to accomplish this at the beginning of the summer so that they can grind the sidewalk squares before the end of summer, but then the following year, we'll do the remove and replacement program through the capital improvement plan.
For efficiency, you're sticking with neighborhoods and regions as opposed to doing one-offs. If something is damaged on another end of town, you're not going to get to that until you get to it, or?
Depends on the severity. If there are sidewalk trip hazards that are identified in other parts of town that are pretty significant, we'll replace those sooner than later. You know, we don't necessarily have to wait until the next cycle to replace those.
Thank you.
Another question, just,
Trustee Rafata, go ahead.
so I know we went through the plan when you first instituted this, Dan, but what is the cycle? How many years does it take to get through the whole village?
5.
5. So every 5 years?
Yeah, 5 years. We've divided it up, the village up into about 5 equal sections. And then, yes, we
Okay,
will.
so every 5 years you're looking at it. And I saw the number 120,000 squares? No,
$120,000.
$120,000, 350-ish squares per year.
So can you spare, no, so how many squares? 350?
350 trip hazards. There may have been more sidewalk squares replaced because you can't always replace just
Right.
one sidewalk. Sometimes you have to replace a couple, but it was 350 trip hazards.
So is it just trip hazards or also where you see sinking sidewalks also?
This particular program focuses just on trip hazards.
Okay, all right, thank you.
That doesn't also mean we don't evaluate areas where sidewalks may be severely backpitched. We may make note of that and bring that to our street department, but it is not part of the program.
Great. Thank you, Kyle.
You're welcome.
Great job, by the way.
Thank you.
So this was just for discussion, and so we're
Correct, yeah, just as
all
a-
on board with how this is going to go?
That's correct.
Thank you, Mr. Kyle.
Thank you.
Brings us to Brings us to the official communications. Clerk Brady, you've got some stuff for us?
Yes, I do. We have the community breakfast. The village is hosting a community pancake breakfast this Saturday, November 22nd, from 8 to 10:30 a.m. at the police station in the garage bays. Admission is a donation of a canned good or non-perishable item. All donation collected are for families who have recently lost access to SNAP benefits. We have the Lights Around Wheeling this Sunday. Lights Around Wheeling, the village holiday lighting ceremony will be held Sunday, November 23rd at 4:30 at Friendship Park on the northeast corner of Dundee and Milwaukee Avenue. Santa will be hearing children's wishes and taking pictures, and there will be free hot chocolate cookies for all attendees.
Thank you, Clerk Brady. Ariel, remind me if I'm getting this right. There's a community event at Rise and Dine this coming Friday, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m.?
Yes, that's true.
That's good. And then there's a second event at the Wheeling High School, Know Your Rights.
Yeah, I'll give you the time if you give me just a second.
Or you could just forward it to,
I can forward it to the village board members.
I was just thinking of a way of getting it online.
Oh, you want it on the website?
You can forward. What? Never mind. Just thought I would bring it up. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Good. That brings us to the paying the bills portion of the evening. Trustee Kruger.
Thank you. To the resident that brought up my quote, I had to look it up. I forgot what I said. Anyone can hear, but it is an art form to truly listen. My favorite quote, though, that is also on that page is, if you want to run with the big dogs, you got to get off the porch. And that's what I've seen here in the last few village board meetings, is a lot of people getting off the porch. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Kruger. Anybody else? Left, right? Okey-doke. Now we're going to pay the bills. You have before you a copy of the bills for October 29th through November 12th of 2025. I need a motion to approve them as presented.
So moved.
Second?
Trustee Lang, second Trustee Kruger. Roll call, please.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Papantos?
Yes.
Trustee Rufato?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
President Horker?
Yes, we have no executive session tonight, and it's a relatively short evening, so I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Trustee Rufato, second Trustee Kruger, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good night, everybody. Thank you for coming.